Hi, I'm 𝐿 with the Massachusetts Medium. Thanks you for buying my video. This video is on love and sex. And love and sex are two very different things, as we've probably all found out in our relationships that we've had. And men and women also look at love and sex very differently as well. Sex is the intimate act of sharing your soul with another person. That's what the actual act is. People look at it very differently. Men can have sex without love. Some women can have sex without love, but most women don't. Most women fall in love once they've had sex. And most men, the more times they have sex with the same woman, end up falling in love with that woman. This is kind of how it works. Not always, but kind of how it works. One of the things that I would definitely recommend is having a discussion prior to having sex with a partner so that you understand where you are health-wise, because once you've had sex with someone, you have literally had sex with everyone they have had sex with. What a fun idea. For that reason, you want to make sure you're using protection. I don't care how old you are. Until you know that you're in a committed relationship. And a lot of people are fine with having a sexual relationship and not being in a committed relationship, and that's an individual thing for each person. I'm not here to judge, I'm just here to help you for people that are having difficulty with sex and love in their relationships. Everybody's libido is also very different. So when you're in a relationship and you're in a committed relationship and you're having sex with someone, it may start out that you're like rabbits and you can do it 2 to 3 times a day and you can do it 7 days a week and you can't get enough. Well, hopefully he's young because as men age, they're as good once as they once were. And for women, as women age, our libidos seem to go the other direction. So when they start hitting about 30, they start wanting it more, not less. And that can go on until they go through menopause and not change. So it can be difficult for women to be getting fulfilled sexually when they're with someone the same age or older, because our libido is different. I also don't recommend jumping into sex right away into a relationship, because you don't want the relationship based on sex. You want the relationship based on compatibility in many areas. But obviously you want to find out if you are compatible sexually as well. And if you jump in and start that way, it's really hard to backpedal. So, sex will change throughout your relationship. And again, as men age, it's more and more difficult for them, and sometimes there's health problems as well that get in the middle of that, which means you can't always have sex the way we think we're going to have sex, which doesn't mean it's cut out of your life completely. A lot of sex is in the brain, it's in your head, and there have been studies done on people that are paraplegics that lost their limbs in wars and have no they're completely erectile dysfunctional. So they can't get an erection, they can't have sex that way, but guess what? They can still have orgasms and they can still have sex, because most of it is in their brain. So keep that in mind, both men and women, when you're having sex, or if there's a problem in your relationship that, you know, people go through things. Maybe someone had prostate cancer and they're unable to perform in that way. There's still other ways of enjoying each other's touch, of having sex and having orgasm that will be different but still be satisfying for both of you. Keep in mind that, again, our brains work very differently. Men are very visual. Men fantasize in their heads, they process things differently. So for a woman to really have a guy get enticed and for it to be fully enjoyable for him, it really helps when you're able to do things that he likes that are visual. And that may be wearing matching bra and panties. It could be as simple as that, or it could be as elaborate as You know, getting nice garters and high heels and bustiers. It could be many different things. Maybe wrap our body in saran wrap when you open the door. I don't know, but you can talk about these things, because again, men are very visual, and you know, everybody likes the build up to it as well. Women more than men. Men don't mind just the slam bam thank you ma'am, which women don't mind once in a while, but not as a steady diet. We need to be built up so that we get in the mood, because we can't get in the mood at the snap of our fingers most of the time. So that's why we like the candies, the flowers, the little notes in our lunch. These are the things that build us up and get us excited, and we anticipate it, so that when the time comes, we are in the mood for sex. And sometimes it's different things for different people. It could be, you know, phone calls during the day, little text messages. It could be just downright dirty talk once you get together. It's different things for different people. So the other thing that you want to talk about is trying to be uninhibited with the other person. And a lot of people have problems around sex, both male and female. A lot of women have been abused sexually. A lot of women have been in abusive relationships sexually. And a lot of times when it comes to being sexual, they're not comfortable feeling that way or being sexual. So it's something they may have to work at. It's something they have to open up with. And this is where communication comes in for sex. Because sex is also a way of communicating. It's a very intimate way of communicating with someone. And if you can't communicate out of the bedroom, you're not going to be able to communicate and have sex in the bedroom. It's just not going to work, because it's an extension of that. So, you know, usually when sex drops off in a relationship, a lot of times you'll notice communication has dropped off in your relationship as well, because it's just another form of communication. Try and push that envelope a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as it's done in a good way and as long as you're both comfortable with it. Keep an open mind. How do you know you don't like something if you haven't tried it, right? As long as you're not going outside of your boundaries that you don't want to go outside of. For instance, they want to bring a third party into the relationship and you are absolutely against that. Well, then that's where the line is drawn. Don't try to push someone past their boundaries if they're not comfortable with it. You can joke about it, you can keep trying to suggest it, but if that's not what they want, then you don't go there. It's that simple, okay? And that keeps everybody comfortable as well. You have to be comfortable with your own body, and I don't care what you look like. You could be 200 pounds, you could be 100 pounds. It doesn't really matter. If you're comfortable with who you are and you're comfortable with your body, then you are very sexy. You're sexy to you, and if you're sexy to you, then you're sexy to your partner, okay? Everybody likes something different. There are a lot of men that are very turned on by women that are very overweight. There are a lot of women that are turned on by guys that are very underweight or very overweight. Everybody, that chemistry that makes you want to have sex with somebody else, that chemistry that attracts you, everybody likes something different. Everybody wants something different. And yes, it's very important that you do match sexually, because if you don't, you'll end up in a relationship where one of you is always feeling like you're lacking in something or that you're giving too much. And when it comes to sex, it's not good. It really is not good. You'll start looking outside the marriage if you feel like you're always lacking, or if you feel like you're always giving and it's too much sex all the time, you'll start feeling like you're being taken advantage of or you're being abused. So it's extremely important that you are a good sexual match when you're in a relationship. It's also very important that you take care of your body, because the reality of it is, if you're not healthy, you're not going to be able to perform sexually. If you're very overweight or you can't breathe, you're not going to enjoy it. The other person isn't going to enjoy it either. So take care of your body, not just for yourself. Take care of your body for your partner. You also want to try to keep things fresh and keep things new, because the reality of it is, even if you start out with a situation where, yep, we're just mission style, I'm on the bottom, he's on top, this is what it is, 7 o'clock every night, it's like, and they're both fine with that. As time goes on, you may not be. So things can get old. Try to mix things up a little bit. Try to make things fresh, try to make things fun. There's lots of things out there now that you don't have to be so afraid to walk into a store and be looking for a sex toy. You can buy them online. You can get really nice sexy lingerie. You can get handcuffs that aren't real handcuffs that, you know, they break free, but, you know, they're fun. Fun toys, fun games. You don't always have to do it at 7 o'clock at night, missionary style. It doesn't have to be that way. You can try and make it fun, try it, make it new. It doesn't always have to be in the bedroom. It can be on the couch. It can be on the kitchen floor. It can be on the garage, on the hood of the car, wherever. And just mix things up. Keep things fresh, keep things new so that they don't get old. And always remember that sex is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be playful. It's not supposed to be work. Relationships aren't supposed to be that much work. You're supposed to be enjoying yourself. If you're not enjoying the sex, if you're not having fun, there's a problem. There's a big problem. And you need to talk about it, because this is what it's about. And this is the glue that holds two people together. This is the intimacy that you have that you don't have with another person outside your relationship. This is what really keeps the two of you together. And when you don't have that, there's a huge part of your relationship that's missing. You're really going to go through life and feeling that something is really missing. And do you want to spend the rest of your life with that big chunk missing? And again, if it's health reasons, if it's an accident, if it's something like that, you can still have sex, be intimate, voyeurism. There's all kinds of things that you can do so that the two of you are still enjoying that sexual, intimate moment. It doesn't end, it's not an end all right there. It just means that you have to have a bigger and better imagination, and you have to really care that much more for the person that you're with and the person that you're enjoying it with, so that maybe you will think outside the box a little bit. Maybe you will try things that are a little bit different, because that person is now more limited than they were before. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's personal for everyone, it's different for everyone, and it needs to remain something that should be sacred for the both of you, and not something that you discuss outside your own two people that are doing this. And I don't feel that it's for the world to see, for the world to know. But again, it's for you both. It should satisfy the both of you, and it should deepen the connection that you have that's loving and nurturing towards each other as well, because that's what sex is. It's just one more nurturing step for the both of you. Enjoy. Thank you.